Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. And today I just wanted to show a trade that I took yesterday. I think I'm also show the trade that I just took now. So you guys can see a bit of how I trade, and if you're interested in how I trade, you can like and subscribe to the channel. It will really help. It will help boost the content to other people, the tutorials that I'm starting now. But yeah, so the trade I took yesterday was on Canadian CHF. That's what it was on. First thing I did was look at the calendar. We had some New Zealand dollar news, GBP, CHF, USD news as well, but this isn't good news for me because it tends to consolidate the market before the news comes out. You can trade it after the news comes out, but I usually just avoid it for the day, and especially if we have, for example, here we have some decent USD news, but the problem is the next day there was some red folder news, so we don't want to trade USD on those sort of days if we have this sort of news, CPI, core CPI, PPI, things like that. Anyways, so I chose Canadian CHF, and let's go over the trade that I took. So we were sweeping this previous month high right here. And if you're interested in any of the keywords that I'm using and you don't understand what I'm saying, leave a comment below and I'll make sure to make a video explaining it. But yeah, so I saw a sweep on this monthly. The weekly was sweeping it was sweeping the same high, and it was also sweeping this previous week high. On the daily, we were expanding lower, I believe. Yeah, we were. We were down here. Let me draw a vertical line so we can see where we were. We were not sweeping this low, we were like around here. So if we go back on the daily, it wasn't sweeping at that time, we were expanding past. So forget about this white candle here. Imagine this blue candle expanding to this level right here. So we were expanding on the 4 hour. We failed to continue higher off of this fair value gap right here. That's also something I'm gonna go over. Fair value gaps. We failed to continue higher. I mean, we did continue higher, but we chose to sweep this high instead of continuing higher, so that's a sign. And on the 4 hour, we started seeing some movement lower. On the hourly, we had some order flow confirmed. Right here, we have this fair value gap, tiny little fair value gap here, which then led to these fair value gaps right here. And let me just clear the screen. So this led to another fair value gap. I took a trade off of this fair value gap. If I haven't put the trade up, yeah, I'm gonna put the trade up now so you can see it. But this is the trade I took. So off of this 1 hour fair value gap right here, we entered into it. This was somewhat my target. Let's drop down into the 1 minute. Into the 1 minute. Okay. Right there. Right there. Let me just zoom in so we can see better. Okay, so we came into this fair value gap and we did something called an ST. I'm going to go over that as well. Fair value gap in, fair value gap out. We retraced back into it. We created this fair value gap, and that's when I entered. Short position right around here. It was a bit, because I entered a bit later. It was on the fourth candle. We retraced, and I think I entered there. Then my stop loss was at a previous high right here, at that high. And it wasn't exactly there because of spread, so probably around here, let's say 1.3, 1.4. And then I got out right here, around here. So yeah, I took my first partial at 1-to-1 right here. We came into this fair value gap here, move that to the side. We came back into this fair value gap little bit, and then we created a new fair value gap. So that is when I took my partial. Right down here, around here, I took my partial. And partial means that I took half my lot size away, and so that's the first 400 that you saw in the photo, was me taking a partial. The reason I take partials is if the market reverses at this point, I mean, this is when I take a partial is when I go break even as well. but I don't want to make no profit on a trade if I reach this point, so I do take a partial, so that if it does reverse on me, at least I make a little 0.5%. But it does take away from the overall how much I could have made. I could have made 1,600, but instead I made 1,200. But for that safety and that risk management, I'm okay with it personally. Some people like to go straight for the 1 to 2, 1 to 3s. I like to take some partials. But yeah, getting back to the trade. So I took a partial here. I let it run. And then I started seeing some sweeps from this low right here. I started to see some sweeps from it. We did continue lower, and I was watching this candle right here extend, and then it started to retrace like that, and that's when I got out. That's when I chose to get out, because I didn't want to see a sweep. It did continue lower towards my take profit, but I did not like seeing this huge retracement from this candle alone, so that's when I got out. So yeah, this is this trade, and you know what, let's go over the trade that I just took right now. We can go over that right now. I'll pop that up on the screen as well. With this one I only made 800 in around 10 minutes. Same thing. And yeah, I was right to get out actually, because I saw that coming. Perfect. Okay, this one was a bit more tricky. It was a bit more riskier. There was some more things going against me. But I saw the nice setup and I thought it would trade well. So right now we're sweeping a previous month high. By the way, we do have news, USD news today, so that's why I'm trading USD. We had a sweep with this high. We failed to make this fair value gap. We're disrespecting this fair value gap. So sweep of this high, failing to make a fair value gap, and now disrespecting this one. That's a lot to do on a monthly. On the weekly, same. We're disrespecting the fair value gap. On the daily, we disrespected this fair value gap, but we still have this fair value area, and we disrespected that as well. We saw low retracement, so that's why I saw going against me. And also the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we had this fair value gap right here, and that's what I felt could have been an issue. That right there. Yeah, that's what I felt could have been an issue, because we were starting to retrace off of that 4 hour fair value gap. But off of this 4 hour fair value gap, that's how we actually got the retracement into the 1 hour fair value gap. So it's like pushing hands, like the bullish and bearish side are like pushing the market back and forth. And I decided, over just the experience that I have, that it was pushing it back into this 1 hour fair value gap, and that we could still continue lower for this hourly, but there is still a chance that we might reverse. So that's why you have to keep on these sort of trades, keep a close eye on what's going on, because it can switch on you real quick when you're coming off a fair value gap like this. So that's when I dropped into the 1 minute. That's when I saw my ST right here, plus RE right here, and that's when I took my short. It was when we created that plus RE. Around here I took my short. The spread was good today, only 0.5, so 3.8 to 4.3. Right there, spread was good. And we reached basically a 1-to-1, I think it was. Yeah, a 1-to-1 over here somewhere. And that's when I took my partial. So the first 400. And then I started to see this. I started to see this this sweep right here. Where was it? Yeah, right here. That's not what I wanted to see. We came into this sweep with an expansion candle. We could have created a fair value gap, and we failed. So I gave it some chances. I looked here, it failed to make this fair value gap. So that's already sign number 1. And then after, if we continued lower afterwards, I would have been okay with it. But we didn't. We made a bullish candle like that, and we didn't reject nicely, because we did reach the high during the point of the minute. We came down and then we went back up, and that's when I closed. So yeah, if you want to learn to trade like this and be able to tell that it's about to reverse on you like it just did now. See, right now, if I didn't take my partial and I didn't get out of my trade, I would be either break even or losing right now. So yeah, so if you want to learn how to trade like this, I just want to show an insight on how I trade, to see if some people, so you guys understand. Um, you might not understand right now, but so you guys can see how I trade. And if you're interested, then leave me some comments on any keywords that you heard today or anything that you found interesting, and I'll make sure to get to it and make a video as soon as possible. And yeah, well, thank you for watching and have a good day.